Welcome to Money Muscle Mindset, the podcast designed to motivate and educate you on your journey to financial and fitness success and to develop the mentality needed to achieve your goals. I'm Zay Molina, and in this episode, we're going to ask the question, what if your future self was watching, right? What do I mean by that? Well, let's ask it this way. What would your future self be telling you right now? Would they be proud of you? Would they be disappointed in you? What are they looking at when you look back, right? Because think about it this way. Think about yourself 5, 10, 15 years ago, right? When you look back that far and you look at yourself, right? Do you have regrets? Are you proud of yourself? Do you say that you've done all that you could to get to the moment that you are? Because our past selves, guys, is what's created us today, right? Everything we've done in the past, from habits to actions to, feelings and all these kind of things that we had going on in our past, that is what's built us today. So when you think about it that way, what is your future self thinking back now, right? Are you doing the actions that you need to? Are you taking control and doing things that you need to in your life to be able to reach the person that you want to be, to be able to accomplish the goals that you want to have, right? And if not, guys, well, let's talk about how we can change that so your future self can be proud of you and be happy with the actions you're taking today. So to start us off, let me ask you the question, where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? Where do you see yourself? Who do you see yourself becoming, right? What goals do you see yourself have already accomplished, right? Think about that, right? Take a minute, close your eyes, pause the video, do what you got to do, right? But really take the time and think about, who do I want to become? Where do I want to be in my life? Once you have that vision and that goal, now we can start moving forward and think about, okay, what is it actually going to take to get there, right? And instead of us looking at all the actions and all the things that we need to do right now and feel overwhelmed, think about it from the future perspective, right? What did that person do to get to that point, right? What would that person say to you right now that you need to get done to be able to become that person, to be able to achieve those goals? What did they do to get to that point that you can do today? And when you think about it that way, it kind of helps you look at the bigger picture of things, right? Instead of, saying, oh, I got to go to the gym today, but I don't really want to, I'm tired. Maybe I'll just blow it off, right? And you're thinking about how you feel now. You're thinking about today's perspective, right? But if you think about it from your future's perspective and looking at the person that you want to become, would that person take today off just because they're feeling tired? Would that person take today off just because they don't want to go run like they said they would, or they don't want to go lift that heavy weight, right? What would that person do if they were in your shoes right now? The person that you want to become, the most disciplined version of yourself, the most successful version of yourself. Would they take today off, or would they push themselves to go to the gym and do what needs to get done? Maybe you want to be a business owner and start your own business, right? And you're just in the beginning steps right now. Well, when you look 5, 10 years down the road and you have that successful business and everything's running smoothly, think about today. Okay, you know what? I don't want to work on my website. I don't want to send out emails. I don't want to do all the stuff that's necessary right now. I'm going to push it off. When you think about your successful version that's already created this business that's doing great, did they push that off? Did they procrastinate, right? Or did they do everything in their power to get it done ASAP so they can have that business up and running and start going through all the little issues and bumps in the road and everything that could go wrong in the business so they can get past those early on and start having a successful business a lot sooner, right? To be able to get around all those little setbacks early on so they can move forward and start finding what's actually going to work to make the business successful, right? Think about it that way. Think about when you're already successful, right? What did you do to get there? A good analogy for this is think about being an investor, right? Think about the person that you want to become, the success he has, all the cars, the houses, the ability to travel wherever they want, all the luxuries, right? And obviously that costs a lot of money, right? So think about it this way, that every action you take today is essentially depositing more money into that savings account to become that successful, rich, wealthy person, right? And every time you take a bad action, right, procrastinate, do impulse buying or impulsive stuff that's not towards your goals, right? That is essentially like withdrawing from your savings account, taking away money from that future person, right? So when you look at it that way, what do you actually want to do? Well, of course, you want to put more money into that savings account. Of course, you want to put more money into that investment account, right? You want to stop taking out withdrawals. You want to have as much possible. So in the future, you're able to have that success. So in the future, you're able to afford whatever it is that you want, all the luxuries, all that kind of stuff, right? And so when you kind of look at it that way from that analogy, right, it helps you understand that everything you do today, all the little things, all the daily actions, the small wins, right? All of that is going to add up to the person that you want to become. But instead of thinking about all the little actions that you have to take today, like going to the gym and doing a leg day that you don't really want to do, right? Or running another mile because you're really tired today, or thinking about all the stuff you got to do for your business, like writing those emails, sending out social media posts on all your platforms and all these different kind of stuff to promote your products, right? A lot of that stuff is going to make you feel overwhelmed, right? And we don't want to have that. We want to be excited about our business. We want to be excited about our future and getting all this stuff going, right? So we want to fall in love with the process. But again, not everything of the process is easy and, exciting, right? So we want to find ways to really motivate ourselves and keep ourselves disciplined. And I think a great way to do that is, again, think about your future self, right? Think about the person that already has this What did he do today that helped him get there? I've actually done an episode on comparison. And when we compare ourselves to other people, it brings out all these different emotions. We have these different levels of where we're at. Maybe you're comparing yourself, your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20 and whatever it may be, right? And essentially it can be very discouraging to you on your journey and make you possibly even want to quit, right? But what we should be doing is comparing ourselves to ourselves, our past selves, our future selves, right? When we compare ourselves to our past selves and the previous version of ourselves, we want to look back and say, okay, what are we doing today? Are we doing better than where we were, right? Are we making progress? And when we compare ourselves to our future selves, right? Essentially, that's the person we want to compete with, right? That's the person we want to keep up with. That's where we want to try to get. That's the person that we want to look up to, right? Because we all want happy, successful futures, right? And so when you really vision and take your time to think about exactly what you want, who you want to become, now you know exactly what you're shooting for. And then you can ask yourself again that question, what did they do to get there? What can I do today that's going to help me achieve that in 3, 5, 10 years, whatever it may be? And there's actually a TED Talk by Daniel Goldstein where he actually talked about this and went over your present versus your future self and basically found out that when you think about your future self and you're trying to compete and you're trying to get to that level, right, it actually helps you, again, create those better long-term decisions, right? And it makes sense when we think about the person that we want to become, right? Of course, it's nice to vision and say, what if, right? But when you think about the actions and you can break it down to say, okay, in 5 years, I should be here. This is the person I want to be. This is who I want to become. This is what I want to have, right? Now you can kind of break it down and say, okay, what would they do today in this moment 5 years ago that helped them achieve that success, right? And that's where we can look at that and say, you know what am I doing right now to be able to achieve that? And another way to phrase it is think about it. What if they were watching you right now? What if every little action that you did, they were looking through a portal or looking through a telescope or whatever it may be, and they're staring at you right now? Would they be proud or would they be disappointed? Are they excited for you? Are they looking at you taking action and saying, there we go, that's what's going to help them get to where I am today? Or are they looking back and say, you know what? I shouldn't have been doing that. I shouldn't have been going out with my friends when I told myself I was going to be at the gym. I shouldn't be eating bad like that when I was trying to lose weight, right? I shouldn't be, playing video games when I should be working on my business, right? Whatever it may be, right? And I'm not saying don't enjoy life, right? But you got to understand the balance between putting in the hard work to achieve the success that you want and taking regular time off to have a little break to be able to not go insane, right? Understanding that there is a limit, right, of where we want to be to where we can enjoy life and do all the fun things that we want, but still work really hard to be able to achieve the goals and the success that we want. So again, the first step is just vision. Who do you actually want to become? What do you actually want to have? And then kind of break it down and say, okay, if that person was watching me right now, are they proud of me or are they disappointed, right? Think about it this way, right? Right now, where you're at in your life, maybe you have some success. Think about something that you've been good at or you have some kind of success in right now. Then look back a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Do you look at your life? What decisions did you do during those timeframes that helped you get to here? Think about all the actions that you took, all the late nights, early mornings, all the crazy gym sessions, the crazy workouts, all the stuff you did, the studying, the research to be able to build your business or whatever you have and wherever you're at right now, whatever thing that you feel is successful in your life right now. For example, if you just graduated high school, you can look back the last 4 years and say, okay, obviously I did something right to get good enough grades to be able to graduate and get my diploma. Same thing goes for college. Maybe right now you've already started a business. You're about 2-3 years in, right? And you have a little bit of success, but you're not where you want to be, right? Well, take some time to think about, okay, over the last 3 years when I actually first started this, what did I actually do that's helped me get to this point in my life, right? And you can think about all the action that you've taken. Again, the late nights, early mornings, right? Maybe you worked on your website, hired some friends, hired a mentor, did whatever, right? But you think about all those positive actions that helped get you to where you are right now. And again, be happy, be grateful for that, right? But I'm sure all of us, right? Every single one of us can look back and also think about some regrets, right? Oh, instead of doing this, I should have done that, right? Instead of going out and partying late nights, drinking all that alcohol, eating all this bad food, you know what? I could have been at the gym. I could have been in bed early, right? So I can get a fresh start on the next morning and be able to do this, right? Whatever it may be, right? But we can look back at our lives and kind of see all the positives, all the negatives, right? You have those things that you're very proud of, and you have those things that maybe you're a little disappointed, right? Well, now kind of flip that script. And again, think about your future self. What are they looking at you right now that's saying, you know what, I'm proud that he did that. I'm proud that she did that, right? Or, you know what, that's something that I shouldn't have done. I kind of regret that decision. I should have been doing this instead, right? And when you think about it that way, that can help you make more decisions in the present moment to be able to say, you know what, instead of me doing that, when my future self was watching right now, he would do this instead of that. Right now, I'm sitting on the couch, eating some junk food, binge watching Netflix, and I think about my future self. You know what? My future self would probably say, you haven't worked out today? Get to the gym. put down the junk food, go grab some healthy food, grab some water, right? Head to the gym, get a good workout in, and then you can come back and do whatever you want, right? But at least go to the gym now so you can say you got it out of the way, you got that decision done, right? Because if you don't go now, maybe you won't go at all, right? And that's the kind of little things, the little conversations that we should have with ourselves to, again, think about if our future self was watching, would they be proud or would they be disappointed? And again, we kind of talked about this, a few episodes ago and a little bit today already, but think about the most successful version of yourself is also the most disciplined, right? So even when you don't want to do stuff, they still did it. And that's what helped your future self achieve that success. So when you think about your fitness journey, skipping one workout today isn't going to hurt, right? Eating one cheat meal is not going to hurt, right? Especially in today, yes, enjoy it, go have a great cheat meal. But if you start making that a habit, every single day, every single week, right? What's going to happen? That future self that you want to become that has a nice six pack, really lean, lots of big muscles, all this kind of stuff, right? They would look at you and say, you know what? I didn't do that to get to this point, right? That's not what I was doing. I was eating healthy. I was going to the gym regularly. I was developing these healthy habits so I could have this physique in the future. When you get off of work, you may be a little tired, but you promised yourself you were going to go to the gym, right? Do you actually go, right? Because if you say, I'm kind of tired, I'll go tomorrow, right? And you start to say that over and over again, what's going to happen? You're not being disciplined, right? That future self is probably looking at you and like, hey, for me to achieve the physique, achieve the health that I want, I wasn't skipping those days. I was going even when I was tired, even when I didn't want to, right? Those are the little things that can help us achieve that success in the long run, right? So again, when you think about your future self essentially being your accountability partner, right? Think about it and say, you know what? If that person was watching me right now, would they be proud of me? What are they saying to me right now? Am I making good decisions? Am I working in my business? They're probably up there saying, hey, great job. Keep doing that every single day for the next couple of weeks, right? It's going to help you get to this point in your business. Then you can scale up and start doing this, right? In your fitness journey, right? Maybe you're debating if you should go up heavier or keep the light weights because they feel kind of light today. You're like, maybe I should just take it easy or should I actually push myself, right? Think about what your future self would say to you, right? They're going to tell you, hey, pick up that heavier weight, push yourself a little bit harder, right? That's what's going to help you grow. That's what's going to help you develop into that future success. So again, your goal is to think bigger picture. Think about the person that you want to become. Think about that successful person and think about if they were watching you right now, what would they say, especially when it comes to fitness? But obviously this also applies to our financials, right? Think about right now, let's say you just got a big bonus, a raise, or whatever it may be, right? And your future self is watching and you're going out and say, hey, I just got this money. You know what? I'm going to go buy this. I'm going to go buy a new car, right? I'm going to go buy the stuff that I don't really need, but it'd be nice because I've always wanted it, right? Well, yes, it might be nice in the moment, right? And getting that instant gratification, right? But your future self is watching and say, hey, you know what? Don't buy that car because it's going to set you back a few more years. It's going to set you back a few more months. Yes, you made more money, but if you start spending more money, right, you're back in the same spot that you were. Instead of buying that car, I should be investing it. I should be saving it, right? I should be doing something more smart with it, right? And when you think about your future self telling you that, right, think about it just like a phone call, right? When you have a decision to make in your life, should I go to the gym or should I just go home? Should I spend this money or should I save it and invest in it, right? Think about, hey, you call your future self, your accountability partner and say, what would you do? Obviously, they're going to tell you, make the more disciplined decision. Make the not so easy decision right now, right? Think about your long-term future. That's what's going to help you, again, make that better decision in the moment. Because every impulse buy, guys, again, it's great. It's instant gratification. And I know that's the kind of society we have around us today. But again, it takes the discipline, the conscious decision to say, you know what, instead of me doing this for fun right now, you know what, let me take a step back and say, you know what, I'm going to think about my long term. I'm going to think about my future, right? What would my future self say? Take that money and go put it into crypto or Forex or real estate or whatever it is, right? Find something that fits best for you, right? But understanding that you need to take better actions rather than going to buy something that you're maybe going to use just a couple of times and then probably store it in your closet, right? Again, understanding that every little impulsive buy is taken out of your future self's pocket. And when I say think about the bigger picture, guys, that doesn't mean don't focus on the small daily wins, right? Even if you're starting out small, maybe you're only saving $10 a month right now, right? But you understand that if I start saving this over time, right, I can eventually use this to invest into something else, right? I can use this to buy a course to learn a new skill of something that I'm passionate about, right? I understand that by saving this little bit, it can lead to long-term growth and compounding over time, right? But understanding that even right now, the small actions are what's going to lead to the bigger picture. Again, this is just an example, but these are the type of decisions that if we really think about and say, okay, if my future self was watching, what would they want me to do right now? What would they want me to do with this money? What would they want me to do with my time right now? Should I be sitting down on the couch, eating bad and binge watching whatever? Or should I be in the gym? Should I be working on my business? Should I be studying? Should I be researching? Should I be trying to find different ways to make more money, right? What are the things that I can do now that's going to make my future self proud and happy? And I know I'm sitting here talking about your future self like it's a different person, right? But really think about it. If that's who you want to become, that's who you're going to become if you make the right decisions today. So that's the idea, guys. Start developing the right habits, start developing the discipline to really achieve what you want to become. Again, first step is just vision it. Who do you actually want to be? What do you actually want to have? And then kind of break it down into the different actions, different steps that you can take to get there. And again, use your future self as an invisible accountability partner, right? Looking over your shoulder at everything you do, what's going to actually lead to you achieving that success and becoming the person that you want to become. Again, guys, it's about that delayed gratification. Missing one workout's not going to hurt too bad, right? Eating one cheat meal is not going to hurt too bad. But if you start to make those decisions over and over again, and they start to turn into habits and long-term decisions that are just essentially detrimental to who you want to become, guys, it's going to hurt you in the long run, of course, right? We want to understand that, yes, we can still have some instant gratification here and there, right? And still try to, enjoy life in the moment. But you got to understand that the delayed gratification, doing what's hard now, is going to lead to an easier life later. Doing what's easy now may lead to a hard life later, right? And that's the decisions that we really got to talk to ourselves and what our future self would be proud of or disappointed in, right? What are we doing right now that's going to push ourselves to achieve the success that we want? Sometimes saying no to something is saying yes to that future self, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Again, treat your future self like an invisible accountability partner. Again, think about it. Every time you have a decision to make, should I go to the gym or not because I'm too tired? Should I work on this or not because I just don't feel like it, right? Whatever the decision comes down to, guys, think about what would my future self say, right? If they were watching me right now, what would they do? And use that to help you guys propel yourselves and motivate you to do what you need to get done. So with that being said, guys, that's what I got for you guys on today's episode. Hopefully you guys found this episode very beneficial and you guys enjoyed it. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys as I always do. Remember, success isn't just about the money you make or the muscles you build. It's also about the mindset you develop along the way. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Money Muscle Mindset.